Well, it looks like it's going to be a hot one. I mean a hot one. But anyway, a lot of people have been asking me about these cameras. What kind of cameras you use, Donnie, or how you set them up, or whatever. Well, this is a little behind the scenes look of how I do my cameras. I change the cards in them every week so I can make my video. So I'm going to share this with you. Now guys, these old cameras, the market is flooded with them. All different brands, all different makes. You can buy one just under $100 or just under $1,000. How much do you want to put in it, and what kind do you want? Some of them's Wi-Fi, some of them's got audio with them, some of them don't. But if you're starting out, it's best just to go cheap till you figure out what you want and how you get used to if you like it or not. It's like everything else. And they take some really great pictures. According to what you get, they get better as time goes on. It seems like they've refined them so much better. Beautiful deer. Old pictures like this that I took over time just to share you. But I don't do much pictures anymore. I do mostly video and capture stuff like this for the wildlife video every week. Beautiful animals. Sometimes I catch stuff like this. Monster deer. And I catch little varmints like this. The most curious, smartest little animal in the woods, the coon. And I catch stuff like this exotic thing. Old hoot owl. Don't catch many pictures of them. And yes, I catch some strange stuff on these cameras too. Can't explain. Some of them's weird. And yeah, I catch poachers on here too. According to where you hang your camera. There's some guy looking for his coon a few years ago. Coon dog. Wasn't supposed to be in here. Here's somebody stealing on a farm over from there and carrying it out on this side. But he went to jail. Well, these old woods, you want to know, where do you set these cameras? So it's not hard, it's not rocket science, but I'll walk you through just a little bit before we get into them deeper. You like to put them on trails like this. You know animals is wearing these trails out. If you didn't, they'd be growed up. So just find you a place that's heavily used. And you find stuff like this, deer droppings around it. If you want to film a lot of deer, just look around, see where the signs is at. Or in a certain time of year, in the fall, you find scrapes and rubs like this right here. You can catch a picture of how big a deer is in the area. And watering holes, places like this, the old pond, they come and go. You just got to find their traveling areas. And that's where you want to set up. And you mount them like this is the way I do it. Mount them on your tree, or I put them down low to catch the little animals. I like to watch them. And I put them up high and I hide them, especially from where the thieves and the poachers can't see them, can't get to them. And for security around the home, you can't see this till you get right up under them leaves, and there it is. They make good home security. I'm telling you, they really do. And where's the kind of cameras I use? No, I'm not endorsed by nobody. These are all my personal cameras. I use the Stealth, the Bushnell, the Browning, the Wild Game, and I use the old cheap Tasco. They put out good pictures for their price, but the light conditions have got to be right. Like here's a Wild Game, some of the cameras. Here's a Bushnell. Here's another newer version of a Wild Game. Here's the Stealth. Just the cameras that I use, just some of them. All right. Here's one of my cameras. This is a Stealth. They make real good pictures. They're not Wi-Fi. All it is right there, I'll just show you one of them. Simple camera. This cost me about $80, $90. Okay. The biggest thing about these cameras, gotta have an SD card right there. And what I like to use is a 16, because I pull them every week, 16 gig. Now, the worst thing about these old cameras is, you get up in a tree and you flip that, it'll shoot 10 foot. The thing about these old cameras is the batteries. They take 8 batteries. They take 8 batteries. Now, you can use any kind of battery you want. But if you use the batteries I'm using, I can get 3-4 months out of them. Now, they're supposed to get, you could probably get 6 months out of them if you just took pictures. But I take videos. So, there's what takes you money. Okay, I'll show you here, right here. Here's the batteries I like to use. These are the best to last the longest. I've tried all different types. These right here last the longest. Now, I was getting these for like $12.70 for 8, and it takes 8 in these cameras. But now, in the last few weeks, they have doubled in price. They're $24 and something instead of 12 something. But these last a while, but they do go bad if you take the more. But it's just according to how many video clips you keep taking. That's why I set most of them down to 10 or 15 seconds. If you don't, you won't have no batteries. These cost a lot of money, and when you got a couple of dozen of these in the field, times 8, and then $24 for 8, that adds up real quick. So that's what I use in these cameras. Hey, what I mount my cameras with, people ask me. Well, they usually come with a standard strap. And you just wrap it around a tree or whatever you're mounting it on, and you tighten it. And then you've got to point it down at an angle. Because when you put these on a tree, you can't just stand them straight up. You've got to point them down a little bit at an angle. If you don't, you won't catch nothing hardly. You'll catch the bottom half of something or top half. You've got to make some adjustments, and you've got to test your cameras, make sure that's what you want. But these straps do work, and they're okay for a quick fix, but I don't like to use them. You can buy these mounts too. This is one you can buy. Last I checked, this was $14 to buy a mount. Screws into the thing, and your camera mounts right on it. Well, that's okay, but that's expensive. I made this out of just an old rod. It's an old rod. And if you're kind of a welder, you weld your little old 10-20 nut on there and tap you some threads on here, 10-20 threads. I took a flat washer, a big old fender washer, get that on there, and there you go. Take a fender washer, and I just took a fender washer. When I weld that nut on it, just take a file and make some notches in it so it's good for your finger to grip to tighten up against your camera. Now you can make these real cheap. You can use a threaded rod, 1/4-inch rod, that's already got the 1/4-20 threads on it, and just take a little grinder and taper it off here as you drive your hoe in. Just get the screw and start it and screw it into your pole. But here's what I use mostly. This is something I don't see to buy. I'll get these out of the way so you can see them. Now you got to forgive it. I pulled this out of the field. It's got paint on it. And what this is, here you go. This is just a hook with an eye in it. I get it in the camera. This is the same thing, so pitch 1/4-20 threads with wing nuts. Okay? And what this does, this is just a little old stud quarter 20. Put the washer on it, those fender washers you buy. Put that through here. Put that right there. Put that right there. And then you put this wing nut on there. Then you put this. These are short. And see, this will screw into your mount, into your tree or whatever post, whatever you got it on. And this screws into your camera. And then you tighten your wing nut right up against your camera. And then you adjust it at the angle you want. Any angle you want, like that right there. And then all you do is just tighten that down right like this. And there you go. Now that didn't cost nothing. That might cost you, well, it was costing me about $1 or so to make one of these. So you make a bunch of them, it pays off. You make this for a couple dollars versus $15, and this is probably doubled in price now. Ain't nothing the same price anymore. But that's what it is. Forgive it the way it looks. I spray paint them flat black, and I've scratched the paint off over time. But that's it. Just the camera screws right into it. There you get it mounted. And you just put it at the angle you want. And there it is. So that's what I use on the camera and the mounts. Now, what I usually carry in the woods, when I change these camera cards every week out of these cameras to make these videos with, I usually just carry what you see on me. Try to be as mobile as you can, because I cover a lot of country across these ridge tops. Right here, I carry this. It's what I call my 2-pouch, and all it is just spare batteries and some tools if you have to move a camera or have to work on one, and a manual if you have to go into the settings on one and you forgot. You got so many different cameras. But that's basically what this is. Set that down. And then I always carry this. I'll bring it up closer here. It's just a little old brush cutter. Cut limbs out or something with. And what you do, you know, it's nothing special. Just you might have to cut a limb out if it's growed into the front of your camera and it's blocking the view of your pictures, or you move a camera and you've got to readjust it somewhere. You may need this real bad. And all I done was just took a little old piece of rubber round conduit, cut me a slot, slide through my belt, and that's it. Didn't cost me nothing. Cheap stuff. And I always carry a Leatherman, and always carry this. Always. Okay? And then I like to wear rubber boots. Now you can wear some good leather boots or chaps or whatever you want. But when I'm in these old woods and you're walking through these places, you may step on a snake or run into one. Well, these old rubber boots is what I wear. They're real heavy, and they're steel toe too. You can't metal detect in them, but they're good for going through the woods. And what I like is, if a snake hits you, you step on one, they ain't gonna go through these boots. They just ain't. And the other thing good about these rubber boots, even for hunting, is they don't leave a scent like leather boots do. So you can come in and out to your cameras, and the animals won't sense you being there. And that helps you a lot on getting better pictures. So that's what I use, just being mobile through these woods. Now what I use to get up in high in these trees and stuff, or hanging these cameras, is a climbing stick. You can get these anywhere. That's what they use for people to use to get in and out of the tree stand. But they're lightweight and they're easy to carry. And you have to put these cameras up high. If you don't, on these main trails, people will steal them, I'm telling you. I've had 6 stole from me a couple of years ago. And it don't make you happy, I can tell you that. Well, anyway, these sections come, I get 2 sections here. It's a total of 8 foot on this climbing stick, and they got straps to them. You can see me here strapping it to that tree. And you just pull it tight against it. And they're real secure. They're real safe. I've been using them for a couple of years now. Go up to the next step. Just strap yourself into that tree, and don't get a tree that's too big that you can't reach around, because you get one you can reach around, you don't have to have just to change your cards, you don't have to have no belt. But if you're mounting the camera, you need a belt, because you got to have both hands. Now here you go. This camera is probably 15 foot in the air. And you do what you got to do. Change your batteries, set your camera, change your card. And you just come on down. So, but other places, if you hide your cameras real good, you don't be putting them up high. But on these main trails, you need to put them up high, because they will get stolen. Well guys, there you go. For giveaway a look, I'm just no country mountain boy. I'm always in these woods. Man, it is one hot one today. Don't tell me now, guys, comment that I'm sitting on a snake. That video I made metal detecting, I'm too busy when I sit down looking around for big snakes. I ain't sitting down beside one. And I raked one out like this and didn't even know it. Thanks for commenting on that, and I didn't even pay no attention to it. So, you just never know. I'm always too busy looking around, nervous as a cat anyway. If I'd seen that snake, I'd probably jump straight up. But anyway, thanks for that. Don't tell me I'm sitting around one. I will go crazy. But anyway, guys, I hope this helps you. I know a lot of you's already used and know all about these trail cameras. A lot of you do, but a lot of you don't either. And this is just to help the people that maybe want to get into them, put them around their home for security and stuff, or just to see what's running around in their backyard. So I hope this helps you, and I want to thank every one of you for watching. If I could do anything in these wildlife to improve them, you just let me know. So I want to thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next time.